We begin this morning with several developments in the search for Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother. Police said late yesterday they detained a person of interest during a traffic stop and carried out a search in Rio Rico, Arizona. As you see here, that's just south of Tucson, where Nancy Guthrie lives. But early this morning, that man was released. Now, this all followed the FBI releasing pictures of an armed, masked person outside of Nancy Guthrie's home the night she went missing. Bradley Blackburn continues to follow the latest developments on this and joins us now. Bradley, good morning. There's a lot to catch up on here.
Absolutely, Errol. Everything was moving very quickly overnight, and at least initially there was the hope that after more than 10 days of searching, this was finally a break in the case. But then this person who was detained was released, and he spoke to CBS News. He says he had nothing to do with Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. This morning, what we do know is that she's still missing. The search for Nancy Guthrie, mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, continues. Overnight, the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Department said they had conducted a search at a house in Rio Rico, Arizona, a community near the border that's about an hour south of Tucson, and that a person had been detained in connection to the case during a traffic stop.
I don't know anything.
This man says he was held and later released.
They just told me, stop moving. Like, what's your name? Carlos. And that's it. They put me in the cop car.
He also told reporters he works as a delivery driver and that he didn't know who Nancy or Savannah Guthrie are.
I don't follow the news. I hope they get the suspect, because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name.
FBI Director Kash Patel said this on Fox News last night before it all began to unfold.
With any investigation, you are a person of interest until you're either eliminated or you're actually found to be the culprit or the culprits involved.
These developments came hours after the FBI released chilling new images of an armed, masked person wearing gloves outside Nancy Guthrie's home, captured by a security camera the night she went missing.
Hopefully the trap is closing on this suspect. Hopefully they feel that pressure. This is the break they needed.
Savannah Guthrie also posted the doorbell camera images on her social media Tuesday and a message saying, "We believe she is still alive. Bring her home." Law enforcement continues to ask the public to report any information to their tip line. In her posts yesterday, sharing that doorbell camera video, Savannah Guthrie also said, quote, "Someone out there recognizes this person." Errol.
All right, Bradley, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Let's piece this together now with former FBI Assistant Director Steve Jensen. Stephen, good morning. So we've got the recent surveillance video released, and now this person of interest being both detained and then released quickly. What do you make of that detention?
Good morning, Errol. In cases like this, it's not unusual for persons of interest to be identified, detained during a law enforcement action like was described previously, a search warrant executed at the house. And if he left the house around the time they were going to execute, to temporarily detain him, identify him, see if he brought anything out of the house. It could also be based on a tip. And this is pure speculation, but if based on the release of the images, a tip identified him as a person of interest, the urgency behind a case like this to recover the victim alive, identify the subject, would warrant a temporary detention. What it also shows me is police are following the rule of law. They're only allowed to temporarily detain somebody without probable cause for a brief period of time that facilitates the needs of the investigation.
And, of course, as we just heard, he quickly spoke to reporters and the press, pleading his innocence, saying he knows nothing about this woman or this case at all. Let's talk about the surveillance video and images released on Tuesday, because there are questions as to if investigators already had possession of this footage and just hadn't shared it to the public until Tuesday, or if they finally were able to obtain it and release. What does it tell us that they did release it? Put pressure on the captors or what?
So the timing of the release of a video like this in any investigation really balances the need for public awareness, public safety against the integrity of the investigation. I would imagine investigators had enough time to review the video, conduct thorough analysis, develop their own leads or potential leads off of what they have on the surveillance video, and then balance that against the need for public awareness. Can they generate more tips, more leads, possible identification of unique factors from that video, to include what appears to be a firearm on the front of his waistband and a unique looking holster? Maybe somebody saw those details and can provide a tip to law enforcement that results in a person being captured.
We know that the search, the frantic search, continues there in southern Arizona. Stephen, we appreciate you joining us this morning with your insight.
Thank you.